I think it does. You look like a DJ when you do it.
Well, now
does
we're
that look
recording
cooler though?
doubly.
DJ Adam.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
DJ album.
You couldn't do it.
I could do it with that though. Yeah.
You couldn't do that? Like you couldn't say I don't know if I can now that I tried. I don't know if that's the thing.
No, I just meant I don't think I could be a DJ, but I could be DJ album. That would be okay.
No, you could press play.
Yeah, that's fair.
Zing.
I have done that. I was a DJ very briefly at a place I lived at.
A place you lived at.
I did.
I hit the play button.
Nice.
And pause.
You did it.
Could you very enthusiastically right now for the listeners say DJ album?
DJ album.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Got the response.
Enthusiasm.
That was almost a spit take. That was so close. Holy shit.
All over Jackson's MacBook.
Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam.
I'm Jackson. Who are you?
I'm Darius.
Yay.
We have a special guest today.
Darius, who are you?
Your brother.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Visiting from Germany.
Welcome. Now we have two foreigners. One almost not foreigner.
A Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm the resident Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah.
I told him about my Canadian friend.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's me.
yeah.
Hi.
In case it wasn't clear.
Dave was brave enough to admit that to us recently, the past month, or maybe 2
Came out
months.
as Canadian.
Sometime this year.
Was it hard for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was honestly it was harder for me, but you know,
Why was it harder for you?
I don't know. It's just kind of cringe having a Canadian friend.
Why is that cringe?
I don't know.
I can tell you
2022?
about what it's like to have health care and like
You can tell me all about it.
Wait,
Yeah.
where's the cancel thing that you guys were telling me about?
Those are canceled bucks.
All right,
Thank you.
I'm just
Jackson
gonna get
gets the first cancel buck?
Well, Darius
that
did
seems fair.
pre-charge on a cancel
Yeah,
buck.
I forgot about that. My bad.
Canceled himself.
I was just a little backstory for the YouTubers and then also for our audio listeners. We have cancel bucks on the table, and you might think, "Wow, it looks like a Stella Artois." It looks like a Stella
Artois.
What do you call these?
Coasters?
Coaster.
Holy.
Yeah. But you would be sorely mistaken. This, my friend, is a cancel buck, which is not really coveted. But you got to be held accountable. They are transferable, so hopefully I can catch one of y'all saying something stupid. Dave's gonna quote Family Guy or some shit, and I'm gonna just throw it at him.
When
like
have
a
I ever
frisbee.
quoted Family Guy?
All the time. You and your wife always do that.
No,
Literally
we don't.
always. Your wife in this very house showed me she quoted Family Guy.
Oh, you're about to quote Family Guy. I
No,
think.
I'm not about to do it.
Well, yeah, what was the quote? What was the quote,
She
asshole?
quoted me, and then not
She
quoted
wanted
me.
you. You're the Family Guy quote.
Yeah!
That's right.
Yeah.
Jackson's got 2 cancel bucks.
How many are you going to get tonight?
I'm gonna end
How many
up with
how many
none.
are there? There's 6?
Well, not enough.
You're going to get 6 then.
Definitely not.
I don't think we normally would pass out this many cancel bucks in an episode. I guess we could if we're really trying.
Dude, cancel bucks reminds me of like V-Bucks and like Fortnite. I don't like the name cancel bucks.
This
at
is
all.
my-
Do you have a better name?
Stella Artois. I really liked.
No,
No.
that can't
We
be
might
it.
get sued.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
We're
that's-
not sponsored.
But also,
so.
being like a cancel buck wouldn't be a good thing, and V bucks aren't a good thing. So
Anybody got a pen?
Maybe you just call them V-Bucks.
just call them V bucks.
Both of us
I wrote
look
one.
down like,
Does
come on,
anybody have
give us your pen, Al.
Album hasn't used a real pen since he was 4.
I assumed
Possibly.
he was gonna pull out like an iPad pen and hand me that. Yeah, so we'll be handing out cancel bucks. They are transferable. How's everyone doing? How was your flight, Darius? You got in today, yeah?
Yeah, as it's been a. I don't know if is it okay if I just speak like this? I'm
Yeah,
very new to the scene.
You're good. You're good.
I'm not a fan of
For
the
the-
way you speak, so can you speak a bit differently?
Of course, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
try my best. Actually, none of you guys have noticed so far. Like I'm speaking normally now.
Oh, good. Cool.
yeah,
because-
or you guys are just not saying it.
We're not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
Because okay, so we had this little deal earlier
Yeah.
that whenever I was supposed to meet you guys, I'm gonna have like this hot German accent. Hey, nice to meet everyone. I'm Darius. and,
For the record, I fucking noticed it right away when you said your name. I was like, there it is.
Yeah. No, see, and the thing was like I noticed we were talking and I was like kind of struggling because I was trying to come up with the accent. And you guys were like, "Oh fuck, dude, we're about to have to record a podcast." This guy can't even fucking speak it. Come on.
I heard the switch though when it happened, and I was like, "Is this a?"
Now is this the bit?
Is
Yeah.
Is the bit
bit
that he
within
gets
a bit.
rid of the accent, like,
Yeah.
and then he has the accent again?
Yeah.
Which one's the real
Hey, I'm
Darius?
I don't know you anymore.
I'm
Can I-
unpredictable.
Can I hand a cancel
That's
buck
a
over?
cancel buck.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's like a very.
We're being
mild-
very liberal.
It's mild.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
The Family Guy one was mild too.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't even do anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. My flight. I flew for 12 hours with our dad. But our dad, he had like, so he got the flight for both of us. It was like a birthday gift for me, and he had miles saved up or something, so he could afford to go business class. So he like was in business while I was in the back, like in economy, just regular.
What a shithead.
And this fucker, he sends me. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That to be determined.
Okay. Okay. All right. He like sends me pictures of his feet like all the way stretched out, his legs, and he like sends me pictures of like the wine menu that he has. And I'm like, where I sat was very bad because there was like this family in front of me, and it was like 3 kids, like kid age. They're like. Just
He's like,
kids.
"Happy
I don't
birthday,
know.
asshole."
Yeah.
No, but they're like really loud, and it was very farty, and it was very
Very party.
it was,
For 12 hours.
It was a long 12 hours, and then we got here and we grabbed food. He was like, and we're like, okay, we're in the car, right?
He's like,
Yeah.
"Give me a Bud Light."
No, dude, that's, the first
That's
thing
coming.
to-
That's coming.
A burger.
But it's like we're in the car and he's like super hyped up. He's like, "Yeah, whoa, it's, all right, what do we do now? I'm trying to get a corn dog." And it's like, "All right, you got it." And then he's like, "Darius, why are you so quiet?" And like, "Yeah, I didn't really sleep that much." He's like, "Oh, I had a great sleep. I had some wine. I had some fucking nice buffalo chicken. And I had some more wine."
He basically
So
got
it's been-
hammered on the plane.
And they on those international flights, like they, like business class and first class on like a regular flight, like just I guess domestic. There's no
you might have a
division.
curtain. You might have a curtain.
But like they make a big deal of like you're not allowed up here. You're poor.
Yeah.
Stay back there. they make a big deal out of that. And if they
Yeah.
see you like trying to like, hey, there's a line for this bathroom. I'm gonna go up to that one. It's fine. They're like, look,
No, you can't go to
no
the
poor
clean
people.
bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
I felt like poor people. They did well.
welcome.
They got
Well,
it.
One of
welcome to
us.
America,
That's
the
right.
land of poor people.
That's
Land of
right.
poor people.
That's right.
Is everybody safe? Everyone feeling good? Everyone got their Taylor Swift tickets? Oh, silence.
Who wants to do a shot of whiskey?
Well, you can't do a shot when I ask you a question.
Oh, we can.
Cheers to Taylor Swift.
To Taylor Swift.
So once again, we find ourselves in this situation where we're talking about dynamic pricing or Live Nation.
Bro, I've been awake for 50 hours.
Darius just took his first shot of
Tullamore
whiskey.
You don't like it?
See, if only you had wine on the plane.
We had wine on the plane.
You have to have this sweet nectar, Dr. Pepper.
No. He also we also went and got food. And you guys took a sip and put it down at the exact same time. That was fucking crazy.
The 3 of us?
The 3 of you just picked up your cups at the same time
Yeah.
and then put it down at the exact same. That was wild.
That's
Anyway,
what we call a turkey.
we went. I'll eat that later. We went and got food, and then we were looking at the beer menu. And how did you order? What did you order?
Oh, Franziskaner Hefeweizen? Yeah.
Oh man,
And then he drinks it. He's like, it's just American beer.
What was it? It was a Hefeweizen?
Yeah.
But what was it called?
What you said? Franziskaner Hefeweizen. It's just like the way. It's just they were like, "Well, say it in German when you order."
No. Our dad was like that.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah, 'cause you can't say Bud Light like with a German accent.
You can try.
Yeah, but it's not going to have the same effect as like Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
Hefeweizen?
Hefeweizen.
Heifa.
Oh,
Give me one of them FIFA-Weizens.
How many of these? It's been like 5
We do a
minutes.
shot every 5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a good night's sleep. Guys.
Have you heard the allegory of like the swan? It looks beautiful on the surface, but on the bottom,
Thank
it's
you.
just yeah. You're welcome. On the bottom, it's just pedaling its little heart out. The whiskey is the pedaling. If you stop,
And I'm
we're
the swan.
fucked. Yep.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. This is such a nice
Surprise.
experience.
Yeah.
So dynamic pricing, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I mean, same old story. We've talked about it over and over again. Here's my question. Darius, have you ever experienced this overseas? Is this an issue, dynamic pricing? Have you heard of this?
Well, I'm like, I've heard about it now because we talked about it briefly earlier.
Okay.
But no, it's completely fucking wild. Like, there's like prices obviously for different like category or like different seats. Like the closer you are to
Right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
thingy, then the more you pay. But like,
Yeah.
well, we don't have like different time zones, so I guess that's like a big part of dynamic pricing, if I understood it.
It is, and
Right?
it's a really
It can
weird
be.
part of it. Personally, I find it really weird that like you give lower prices to people on the East Coast just because, like, I guess
It
why
starts
not?
there.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't make any
It's
sense.
where the
to me.
capital
It
is,
seems
Adam.
so wild.
That's true.
It's where the capital is. Makes
So-
sense.
So they get lower pricing because that's where the capital is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's stinky over there. You ever been to
Oh.
DC?
I've never been.
It's stinky.
Why?
Does
Is
it
it?
smell like?
Did
Yeah.
you think that?
Yeah.
Have
What
you
did
been to any other cities?
Yeah, plenty of them. Yeah.
What was stinkier, Vegas or DC?
Definitely Vegas.
Yeah, that's-
Had a lot of men on the street telling me it was titty time in Vegas. So like didn't have that in DC.
So you had Days Titty. It's titty time in Vegas. What did you have in New
New Orleans,
Orleans?
days titties and day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Days titties and day.
It's different
Those are both on
shades.
brand for the
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah, but days titties and day is like you got to go inside, right?
Sure.
Where the fuck am I? What's going on?
It's okay. You just had a shot of whiskey. You're in Texas.
So like in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, which is like the bar
It's-
street.
If you want to be like a local, it's pronounced Nolans.
Nolans.
Okay.
There's on like the big bar street on Bourbon Street, you know, like on a big bar street, people are like screaming out like $3 drinks, like, you know, yelling out specials, right? So I just played like the shittiest show of tour. We're walking down Bourbon Street, we're turning the night around, and there's this guy in front of a strip club, and he yells, "Days titties and day." And I mean, we went inside because days titties and day.
All right.
What is that sentence? So you're gonna ignore that sentence? Days titties and day?
What does it mean?
There's
There's
titties inside.
in there. Yeah.
All right. I actually had a foreign moment there. Oopsies.
On the inside of this establishment, there are mammaries.
And that's one for Dave.
Yeah.
You earned that one though.
Jackson does this up and down.
I feel sticky.
Gross, dude.
Yeah, so we got dynamic pricing. For the Taylor
Yeah, is it good?
No, it's bad.
Okay.
For the Taylor Swift concert, if I remember correctly, the pricing, the lowest ticket you could find was like $50, and then the highest ticket was $400. And
I think
that's
those
pretty
numbers
normal.
are low actually
Well,
compared to what.
That's where they started.
Well, even
He's
then,
walking us through it.
even then, I think they were even higher than that, right?
They might have been.
Because I thought that was the whole thing of they're promoting like we're setting reasonable ticket prices. So like these are
Well,
what the tickets actually cost instead
And
of
this
the
is,
normal.
mind you, this is pre-sale.
yeah,
is like the
this
pre-sale stuff.
That
On
is
the
an
East
important
Coast.
part. This
Yeah.
is pre-sale, and it's not even just like the fan pre-sale. It's like other versions
Yeah,
of pre-sale.
You are officially of a higher class if you have a Chase MasterCard or whatever, some shit like that. And
wrong bank.
yeah, whatever. I'm sorry I don't know all my banks, Adam. Name 5 banks.
No,
Do it.
I'm not gonna do that.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
He said one. Chase. Chase.
Now,
Chase.
number- it still wasn't 5.
What's your favorite
Chase.
offshore banking? What's your favorite offshore banking?
I don't know.
Deutsche Bank, baby.
There it is. I didn't feel comfortable making the joke until I wanted the chairman to do it.
That's a
I have
good joke
fucking
though.
4 accounts over there. What do you gonna say?
Yeah, so basically, they're the typical pre-sales where it's like, oh, if you're a fan or if you're a, Chase Sapphire, I don't know, and I'm glad I didn't have the cans on.
Yeah, you should be. There you go.
Yeah, no, I'll take Jesus. Okay.
So
Double up.
they had the pre-sale going on, and it was official like fan, and there was some hoops you had to jump through to prove you were like a verified fan. I don't know what exactly those were.
I was gonna say, isn't
Well-
that some of the deals is like Spotify listener
Yeah.
numbers and
Well, roughly
some other
14
things.
million people were able to jump through those hoops.
Fuck.
2.4 million were able to get tickets.
Right.
14 million
Tried.
were on the website.
This is just the pre-sale we're on right
Just
now.
pre-sale, yeah.
And quick, allegedly, all these hoops you have to jump through, all the barriers are to try and stop scalping, bots from getting these. They're trying to get the tickets into the fans' hands is the idea. But what we're seeing is now if you go onto these resale sites and pretty much instantaneously, as everyone saw the situation of like, oh, it's actually impossible to get these tickets unless you already have them. Tickets are now as high as 22,000 American dollars, which is insane. And we've talked about this so many times, whether I was frustrated about the Muse tickets I bought or Blink 182
Yeah.
when I got the My Chemical Romance tickets. It's just time and time again. And but I had this positive outlook of like, if someone like Beyonce or anyone like that, like this massive pop star would take a stand, maybe we could make a difference. I'm here. I'm firmly rooted and saying, no, that is not what will happen. It is not, no pop star will fix it. Even if Beyonce or someone, who actually had, their fans in mind were to go and try and do it, it would last that single tour. Much like the Jack White thing where we were like, oh, it'd be cool if we start seeing, I'm referring to when Adam and I saw Jack White and they locked our phones in these pouches. You kept your phone on you the whole time, but it was in this magnetic pouch that at the end of the show, it would unlock. And so we were talking about how that would be cool.
He does still do that, but it's just him.
Right. And Dave Chappelle did it for those comedy shows for a bit.
But it's a lot more
it's-
common at comedy shows now.
Yeah, pretty much
But it
every...
didn't happen on music at all.
Like most comedy shows I've been to in the past couple years have done that. So
It's because they're getting ready to film a special, so they don't want all their jokes to...
It's some of that, but they do it at every show, and a lot of it just seems to be a culture of like, we should all pay attention to
yeah,
the
it's
comedy.
both, probably.
If you go to a comedy show in LA, it doesn't matter if they're filming; they're gonna do that.
No, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but it's before they release their special. They don't want all their jokes
Yeah.
ending up on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
But Adam and I were talking about how like, oh, this isn't going to be a widespread thing. You're not going to see this everywhere, but it'd be cool if you see it at, select like smaller venues, that kind of stuff. But definitely didn't happen. And that's
Right, 'cause
exactly
it's
what...
entirely Jack White, his decision to do that on that tour. Like
Right.
it wasn't the Bomb Factory that did that rule and had it for that Jack White show, because I went to go see Mars Volta there and everybody was on their fucking phones, which I would have appreciated if that was just a thing Bomb Factory started doing, was like, hey, no more phones.
Hey, everyone's on their phones at Royal Blood, and he had something to say about
He
it.
got
yeah.
upset about it.
That'll
Yeah.
show him.
Yeah.
Get off Instagram.
Wouldn't it be cool if we were all on Instagram together?
Did he sound like
if
that?
only there was something
Yeah.
he could
Wouldn't it be
do.
cool if we were all on Instagram together? Cute.
There you go.
See, I goaded him.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
But hey, it was there. I mean, if I pushed you, you shouldn't have done it. It's that's still on you.
That's all. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So now we're at the point where everybody Swifties are you don't mess with Taylor Swift fans. They're
No.
I tried really hard to mess with them on TikTok a few weeks ago. It didn't work. I got a few of them.
Oh, you got a few of them. Your comment.
And
There's a couple comments that were pissed.
And did you see my response to it?
No,
So basically I put up this basically saying that like, oh, Taylor Swift ripped off this popular YouTuber, Critical. I was like, she definitely ripped off of him on this new album. I see millions for this other artist. And there are like a handful of comments. I was really hoping to go viral with that one and just like have the comment section blow up on me. I was really going for that. Didn't work, but I got like 5 people who were like, I don't see it. I don't hear it. It's clearly not like
Yeah,
the
it's
case.
like it's obvious he's doing a fucking bit with it, and they're like, I don't really hear this. You're being ridiculous.
Yeah, they're like, you need to listen again. And so what I responded to each person that I clearly had gotten in their head and said, maybe if you watch the TikTok again, you'll hear it. trying to get people to just keep generating more views. I was like, I'm really working this angle. That was not my idea, by the way. That was my partner's idea. She was like, "Oh, you should do that. That will be gold. Let's fucking pop off now." So you don't mess with the Swifties. They're very,
Don't.
they're territorial. They love Taylor Swift. That's totally fine.
Well, and Taylor Swift has issued multiple statements since all of this, right?
Right.
And one of them being that this whole situation could be compared to, quote, several bear attacks.
Oh.
I agree.
Weird. Yeah, weird phrasing.
Finally, someone said it.
Several bear attacks. Now, I don't know what a bear attack is like.
What kind of bear are we talking about here?
Teddy bear.
Nice.
But I don't know if it's like several bear attacks. I don't know. Maybe I need to cancel Buck for that one. I don't know. That feels...
No.
That's a weird phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, where we get from, a lot of people are going online. There were a few lawmakers, including AOC, and then there was another lawmaker, a U.S. lawmaker, who said, like, hey, this is ridiculous that this is allowed. This is a clusterfuck. And, like, why? Kind of clearly insinuating that, like, oh, why is Live Nation or Ticketmaster such a shit show? And then what ends up happening after that, so then I think this was like a Wednesday or a Tuesday when this happened. It was a Wednesday, I remember, because I know a few people who got tickets, and I remember talking to them that day of like, hey, what was your experience? And so tickets were supposed to go on sale to the public on Friday, and that got canceled. The tour didn't get canceled. I saw some people were like, yeah, she canceled her tour over this. Like, that's not what happened. The official sale got canceled, like the public sale. And the reasoning behind that was what, Adam?
Ticketmaster said they sold out of all the tickets.
What the fuck?
Which
That's
I think
fucked.
sounds like bullshit. They probably oversold some tickets is my thinking. And they're like, oh, we have to scramble and fix this because we are fucked.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of people signed up to buy tickets. It overwhelmed their systems and everything like that.
Didn't it crash their website?
Yeah.
Multiple times,
Well,
yeah.
tons of different things. Like
Yeah.
a bunch of different services went down. It's
Why,
They're-
why Taylor Swift? Why doesn't this happen all the time?
because 14 million people tried to buy tickets.
Yeah, it's like our first concert in 5 years. This is a massive record. And then, like, you have to think of those 2 records she put out during quarantine.
She didn't
Those
tour
were
them.
massive. Like,
It's
so,
Evermore and what?
fuck, I don't know.
Furthermore,
Yeah.
that's not it.
That's not it. That's not it. But it does start with an F, doesn't it? So you're
Does
basically
it?
there.
Fuck.
So there's 3 records. There's 3 massive records
Right.
that have had no like actual support,
Okay.
live support. So like,
Well,
yeah,
and to keep in mind, I guess if people don't know, they're all like stadiums, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
massive venues. And then you think about how many tickets did we say earlier? Like 3 million. 3 million
2,
tickets
it's
were
like
available. So like,
2.2 or 2.4 million.
even if they didn't get 14 million people interested, trying to sell like 3 million tickets in the course of like a couple hours seems crazy.
insane. Yeah, they should have staggered that out. What they should have done is like, okay,
But
for
there's
this
a lot
week,
of
Coast.
Yeah.
yeah, Middle America.
You're first.
Yeah,
Folklore. Is the
There
name
you
of the
go.
album.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Folklore. Yeah.
Remembered that it started with an F, but not that it was folklore.
Yeah.
All right.
And I liked that album, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean-
Furthermore, sounded like a good name in hindsight. I'm like,
you-
yeah, that makes sense.
Do you like it enough to be one of the 14 million people that try to get tickets?
No.
Oh.
I didn't try.
You fucked up,
he,
dude.
he said, "I'll buy a car, not Taylor Swift tickets." You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So where we are now, they cancel the public sale. As to right now, it does not appear that they've rescheduled it. So it does further back up what Adam is saying, that they've oversold or they've completely sold out of tickets, which
Yeah.
is crazy. I've never heard of them doing. They
The
typically
idea
for
of completely
pre-sales.
selling out just sounds crazy to me. I can't imagine, just technically speaking, I don't know how you could build a system to like properly sell every single ticket correctly. Like
Right.
that just sounds like chaos.
How many shows were there on the tour?
I don't know.
It's like a full stadium tour, like across the country. So
Yeah,
Well, and they
it's
added,
a 52-date tour, I think. Actually,
I think they
Oh, wow.
added dates after the tour got announced, but then before tickets went on sale, which just made it even worse for how many people signed up for all these potential pre-sale ticket possibilities, right? Because everybody's like, oh, I could maybe go to that now. There's like 2 dates in whatever town.
Right. Yeah. So where we are, I'm going to gloss over Taylor Swift's response or anything to that because it's really not important.
It's also not helpful.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not
it doesn't
helpful.
change anything.
If you look back at it, because everyone keeps saying this, let's look back at, I think it was 2011 when Bruce Springsteen had this exact same thing happen. If you look at his response to that, it is almost identical to what she's doing now. If you look at the 3-paragraph structure, and it's like, first say how much you love your fans, then do this, and then say this. It's very structured similarly.
And don't name Ticketmaster or Live Nation in it.
Exactly. Just say, I've been assured that this wouldn't happen, that they could handle the demand. I'm so humbled by this many people. I can't wait to bring this to you. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then if you look, you can kind of guess what like her like next week or two is going to look like. I.e., look at what Bruce Springsteen did. A lot of people who have been in this exact same situation have like kind of mimicked what he did and kind of lightly shift the blame, but don't directly say their name, that kind of thing.
Do you think she called Bruce Springsteen and was like, Bruce, I released this statement, and they were both just like,
It's like, I released your statement, but I referenced a bear.
yeah, exactly.
She took her private jet to him.
to his private jet.
No,
Yeah.
she flew her private jet to him to go pick him up, and then flew the other private jet.
They
Doesn't she have
circled
2
in
or
the
3
air.
private jets.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a whole thing too?
Then they circled in the air.
Looking
And
through the windows.
yeah.
And they're like the sheep.
Yeah.
They're like the sheep.
The Chinese sheep.
Yeah, they're going in a circle.
Yeah. No need to further elaborate on that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm lost as well,
Yeah.
Darius. Don't worry.
No, I'm not lost.
Darius is
actually.
not
No,
lost.
He saw it,
I'm
he saw it.
completely in on it. I'm one of the sheep.
Only
I know
real
what's
ones.
going
Only real ones know about the Chinese sheep.
I think they
The
were
Chinese
Mongolian, actually.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
one.
That's a big one.
I'm thinking about it.
It's a legitimate one. I apologize to our
I just want to point
Mongolian
out everybody's
listeners.
sitting here with cancel blocks except for me.
Yeah, maybe if you said more than 6 words a minute.
Oh, come on, Dave.
I mean, that's fair. It's a good strategy, though, isn't it?
You want one of mine?
So kind of
I'll
where
take
we
one to participate.
where we stand on this is so a lot of calls from musicians and fans alike to the U.S. Justice Department to say, hey, Live Nation and Ticketmaster is an unchecked monopoly. We need to break that up. This needs to be investigated. And it has officially been open. There is a probe by the Justice Department to investigate whether or not Live Nation has had potential abuses of power, whether it is, as they were saying, is it a true monopoly? And I don't want to talk down to listeners, but I just want to be clear. I mean, the goal here of breaking up a monopoly is if you have a true monopoly or, if you have a true monopoly system, there's no reason for them for fair pricing. There's no competitiveness in the market that allows for, okay, they can just basically take advantage of the end user being the fans in this situation. So that's the real goal here.
Well, and it's like if you're any sort of artist, medium, like I would say small, medium, but definitely medium to large.
Like 2 inches, 4 inches. What are we talking about?
I mean, like I'll be fine. I'll be charitable. 2 is fine. 2 is okay. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's small artist.
That's
Yeah.
very charitable.
Yeah.
Cool.
2 to 7. Let's go.
What's that
2
in
to 8.
millimeters? Could you tell me?
I don't know what inches are.
Okay,
so
cool.
I can tell you 12 inches or a foot.
Cool.
That's honestly, that's
And then-
probably about as good as most Americans.
I realized in the car when we were talking about height, I was like, oh wait.
Dude, you guys were like, oh, it's so cold in Dallas. It's 60 degrees. I'm like,
What the? Yeah.
I mean,
genuinely. Okay, anyway.
Fahrenheit makes sense. Everything else that we do is stupid.
32 degrees is 0 degrees.
Well,
You're trying to
okay,
tell me that makes sense.
that part,
Real quick.
the range here. No, that's
I'm
fair.
with you,
You're
man.
supposed to.
Celsius.
The range
Celsius
in Fahrenheit
all
makes
fucking day.
Yeah, whatever. The range in Fahrenheit makes more sense. You have more like variability.
USA.
But
Get
it
your Dr.
should
Pepper
should
back.
absolutely start at 0.
Well, okay, 0 is the freezing point of water, and 100 is the boiling point of water.
I don't care about the
does that-
boiling
that
point of
make-
water if I go outside.
I'm all about Kelvin, if I'm being honest.
Who's Kevin?
Was one
Went to
Kevin
engineering
outside?
school. What?
I forget where we got.
Yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, so there's
Monopolies.
They're probing.
Oh yeah. So whether
probing Live Nation.
whether or not you're 2 inches or 7 inches.
We were talking about penis.
Peni.
Whether or not you're 2 or 7 inches, I think that you have to work with Ticketmaster or Live Nation. They have like, it's not just like a monopoly on the people who go to concerts, but it's not a monopoly on the artists too. The artists have to deal with the same situation. So if you're an artist who is like blowing up, you're going to have to deal with Ticketmaster and Live Nation, and therefore some of your fans might get fucked over by that kind of thing. So there's a lot. It's not just affecting, it's not just affecting the audience goers, but it's affecting also like smaller to middle artists who are, starting to do things.
Right, and that doesn't even require you to like partner with Live Nation to like plan or produce a tour. It's just like, I want to play at this venue, and then everybody goes, oh, guess who owns it?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there no other service? Because like in Europe, we have like Eventim. Like it's like
There are some other companies that do ticketing, but they do like for privately owned or individually owned venues, and those are like few and far in between, and they're all tiny compared to if you book a national tour, you can't go to those venues basically.
Here's the smoke and mirrors here. There are other ticketing services, but guess who owns them? Live Nation.
There is also that aspect. Because there are a few, like, I can't name them
Yeah.
offhand, but there are some, like Ticketfly, is that one?
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
like one.
Ticketfly.
Well,
There's like AXS.
Yeah.
I'm looking
AXS
up
is the
like
big one that I can think
pre-Kindle.
of.
Well, so Ticketmaster is the big one, and then Live Nation is the other big one, but they're owned by the same people. So like,
And
the
they
two-
merged like a decade ago at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about how bad this was, and then the government goes, it sounds good to me. Like, go ahead.
I saw this clip of Dane Cook talking about renting his own stadiums to. Oh my god! It's just a clip of. I have all the cancel buttons.
I don't know.
Dude's like
He's a-
40
he's a-
and he's dating like a
50.
19-year-old.
He's 50 dating a 25-year-old.
The point is, he was talking about booking his own stadiums outside of that. Couldn't bands do that?
Can you do that though?
Okay,
That's
so
what he did.
Well, you're talking about like probably Dane Cook at his height, like when he was like his biggest. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like how many?
How many
What?
inches?
Well, I guess
Yeah, when he was like 12.
I don't know what the real what
Well,
what that.
actually, take that back about him.
I guess
don't know.
there is.
AXS is owned by Live Nation. I was looking it up.
When did that happen?
I don't know, but it's right here.
What the fuck?
I don't know what that looks like now, but I would.
Oh wait, sorry, I misread. I'm wrong. Sorry, Adam.
So
You're
they're-
right.
Well, they're not
They're
owned
separate.
by Live Nation? Okay.
They're separate.
Did they try to buy them though? I bet they did.
I don't know.
I can only guess that Dane Cook was able to do that based on the timing of like this of him doing it, because it probably would have been 2005, 2004.
I don't know.
Like it would have been too early before they signed agreements with stadiums that they don't like. Obviously, they don't own the stadiums, whereas like the smaller venues, they own the physical buildings.
The thing that I think about is I think about how serious smaller venues take like door deals, and like how that affects the smaller artists on like a local level, right? I mean, it's like,
Can we explain what a door deal is?
yeah, there's a cover charge to go inside of a venue. Let's say for the sake of just this, let's say when you play, the door deal is the door has to make $200 before the bands see any money. So basically, all the cover charge for initially is going to the door deal, and the door deal is good because that's what pays the sound guy, that's what pays the person who's running the door. But now that responsibility is falling on the band, which is kind of like, well, I mean, I'm bringing people out because you want me to bring people out to your space, but now I'm losing a large portion of that income. So, like, the way that I see door deals now, they're pretty, like, I don't want to use the word predatory, but they're not good to musicians. They're, like, actively unkind to them.
So what if you don't make, say it's $200? What if you don't make $200? Do you owe the venue money?
No.
For the most part, no. There's
The venue goes into the they'll pay the
Yeah.
sound people always get paid. Door person will always get paid, but it's coming out of the venue's pocket now.
which it should. That's their employees.
and
but-
then
Right.
you won't get booked.
But
again.
I was gonna say they won't book you again.
Yeah. And so just thinking about that on a larger scale, like trying to book a large venue for your tour is like nowadays you really have to prove that you have something. You have to prove like whether it be a TikTok following, Instagram following, Spotify listens, whatever you're looking at. There's a lot of like variables that affect whether or not you can book those things. And so, I mean, and then at the end of the day, if once you have that booked, then it's going to be up to the venue how the tickets get sold unless you can present the venue a good enough option as to why it shouldn't be Ticketmaster or Live Nation. Which again, that's all possible. I think Dane Cook could still do that today. I think he would probably somehow sell a lot of tickets. A lot of young people probably. But
Nice.
I just have one question. Is his name like Dane, like Dan with an E?
Yeah.
yeah.
Danish?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not like an abbreviation for
No.
anything.
Nope.
It's just
His name is Dane.
Like,
Nope.
like Dane, like
Yeah.
Dane.
Like
Nope.
Dane.
It's Dane.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know the origins of that. It's worth a drink. But does anybody have anything they want to add to this
Yeah,
before
sure,
we move on? I think for me, it's really just our only, and I hate saying this, but the only hope that this will ever change, I think, might be in the Justice Department, like breaking them up.
I mean,
Well,
yes, but I do have a little bit of a hope that will actually happen, at least with the current administration
Yeah.
and leadership at the Justice Department.
you
Because
talking about Joe Byron?
no,
Dark Brandon.
yeah, there you go. Because
Dank
they just
Brandon.
shut down a book publishing deal that probably nobody paid attention to or cared about, but would
they
have
get J.K.
would
Rowling?
have resulted in one company owning like 90% of books published in the U.S. And that would have previously been like, oh yeah, go ahead, we're good. Government doesn't care. But they shot it down and also told both those companies to sell parts of their business because they're already too big.
I think like we had mentioned it before, an artist like Beyonce would have to like speak out against this for us to see change.
Very publicly too.
And Taylor Swift being like an artist to have, even though it was maybe not like the most outspoken statement, still a statement about it, and seeing all the fans and all that kind of stuff, it's enough to hopefully see change.
I think Pearl Jam have tried to do a similar thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you look at Pearl Jam did it in the not Bruce Springsteen way. There are
Yeah.
two like
Yeah.
precedents. One is Bruce Springsteen, which is like, man, it's such a shame this happened, but I'm still gonna make a fuck ton of money off of you guys. And then Pearl Jam is like, this is ridiculous. We're gonna see if we can bring awareness to this and basically Lars Ulrich it and like try to take them to court
I thought
and just get like blacklisted because
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I thought the weirdest thing about all of it was like in the aftermath, she went to the AMAs and was very publicly just having the best time. And outside of that, her fans
Of course
were
she's
like,
having a great
her
time.
private
She
jet
just made
still
fuck
works.
tons of
but
money
her
selling 4
fans
million
were
tickets.
Good. Her fans were like, "Oh my god, look what she's wearing. She's having such a good time." I'm like, "Oh wait, hold on. Weren't we just really pissed off? Why did we change?"
That is the same that has always been the case with Swift fans of
Yeah.
like, oh, whenever that article came out of oh, she has the highest footprint out of anybody of these
Like a size 15.
yeah, exactly. I don't know what that's in European shoes, but
Like 190.
there you go. Quick maths. Yeah, I mean, there was like a week or two of like, yeah, that's really bad of her, but like, have you listened to Red? Like, it's really important to me, that kind of stuff. And it's just like, whatever.
Taylor's version.
Exactly. I am not one who separates the art from the artist. I think they're intrinsically linked. I'm okay with people who can separate that to an extent. I don't want to compare her fans to Kanye fans because that's a whole different level. And like, I don't think she's on that level. I think she's just more of like hey, I'm going to benefit from this stuff. And like, I don't think she's maliciously doing it on purpose, but she's also not trying to make it better.
Right.
She's just
she's not
benefiting
telling
from
her like company and her managers and all that to not do it either,
By
which is
the-
another like I would say that's a problem because you could use your platform as like one of the biggest artists to tell your management, how about we don't negotiate those deals that fuck everybody over.
And what?
Not to be devil's advocate, but like it's probably not completely in her power. Like she
Oh, yeah.
probably like they're just fucking doing it.
Yeah, no,
She's already
and
busy
the
enough
managers
taking care of the
absolutely
music.
like I don't know who they are, but they obviously want the money.
No,
They're like a money printing machine that they have in the back here with like printing out 15 different record variants. And
the one pushback on that I'll say is that if there is someone who has power in that level, it's she's one of the ones.
Yep.
Because she got like all like her masters, like, or she's re-recording all of her stuff. Like she's taken full control of her career, in
like
a way
full
that's, like-
ownership of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, not full, right? It's not clearly not 100%
Yeah.
full.
But like as close as you can really get if you're a giant
But
artists,
she still
probably.
will have management, like you say. I mean, she still will have those people who do pull like the strings. But of artists like who are being like taken advantage of, she's not the one who's being the most taken advantage of at this point.
She has clearly shown that she knows she can use her power and her pull to get positive change, i.e., take back her catalog in her way.
But that's like the whole masters thing. Like I only know like a little bit about it, like how she just got back all her masters and like re-released everything, kind of. Right?
Yeah, she didn't get them back. She basically just said, "Okay, I'm going to re-record and release them under mine." And then her fans have basically rallied behind her and like, we're not going to listen to the original ones. We're now listening to Taylor's versions, which they're called.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's like literally just the music. Like she's just making the music again.
Yeah.
But like the whole organization behind, you know,
Right.
like making a stadium tour with 52 different appointments or whatever. Like she doesn't have anything to do with that. You
Right.
think she's
Yeah.
like gonna
Right.
be like, oh, I really don't want to go to like Tennessee. No, like if they're like, all right, we have like a lot of people that want to see you in Tennessee, she's gonna go to fucking Tennessee.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it definitely isn't her call, and it's like it's never on, like we talked about with like the vinyl stuff. It's not on Adele. It's not on Taylor Swift. It's not on Ed Sheeran that the vinyl like printing stuff has been a problem. Like
Right.
it's easily the management and all the people that have made that an issue. But it's like when there's this kind of like giant monopoly, we just hope the artist can speak out. She is. Bear attacks.
I think there's definitely one thing that hasn't been mentioned here is that whenever this dynamic pricing started to become a conversation before this whole Taylor Swift debacle happened, there was an article that came out that basically said like, hey, we're blaming only Live Nation for this kind of this act and this practice, but there are actively artists who are going to these stadium tours who have asked specifically for this. Can you guess who was name checked as the biggest artist who asked and said, I want dynamic pricing?
Album?
Oh, it's obviously Taylor Swift.
It's
right?
Taylor Swift. Yeah. Like, so it's like,
Because
she clearly
there's
wants
money to
that.
leave on the table if you don't take it, which is that argument that we did talk about, and like I get it to
Well,
a degree.
Maybe it was pitched to her as a way to stop scalpers and stuff.
it is, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
which
take...
is the really like misleading thing that Ticketmaster
Yeah.
does is like it doesn't stop scalpers. Like
That-
you can still go buy 6 tickets. It's just more expensive to gamble on it, and it probably will work for most of these people.
But that's such a, like, I agree with you. It is pitched to everyone that way. And if you're somebody who wants to take that at face value and not, like, basically just squint at it and be like, yeah, you're right. That makes me warm and fuzzy. But if you kind of look at it a little bit more, it doesn't take a rocket science. She is obviously a very smart woman. That it doesn't take much to realize, like, that's not the entire story. That's just that's the face. But, like, yeah, we can move on from it. It's just, but I do agree with you, Darius, that, like, people like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or Harry Styles, we look at them as this singular person. They're not. Like, Taylor Swift is a corporation. Harry Styles is a corporation. Beyonce is a corporation. Obviously, there's a person in there, but, like, none of us know what Taylor
Yeah.
Swift is truly like.
They're
and,
just
yeah.
effectively like the CEO of their own company brand.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
the same deal with politicians and people being like, well, I really like that guy. And you're like, cool, but his campaign's like 5,000 people. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But I gotta say, like the whole article thing, that's like, all right, I gave her the benefit of the doubt, but
yeah.
Taylor, you disappointed me. I'm
Yeah.
no longer a Swiftie.
Adam, are you upset that you're not going to be able to send us tweets from Trent Reznor or Jack White anymore?
No, I hadn't really thought about it, but I haven't thought much about Twitter really since the whole thing happened. So.
Yeah.
You say the whole thing like it's like you can't. It's like Voldemort. You can't fucking say.
I don't think we need to explain it. I think everybody is aware that a
Yeah.
maniac bought Twitter.
I'm not looking for a whole in-depth conversation about Twitter. I just wanted to make sure you were
Yeah,
okay.
I do think it's interesting though because Trent Reznor was. I don't know what year he joined Twitter, but I like very clearly remember when he joined Twitter. It was very early in Twitter's life,
Yeah, but
and it was like cool and important that he was there. And he was like a guy who's like normally super private and like didn't talk about anything. Was like posting stuff like, "Hey, this is my wife," and people are like, "You have a fucking wife?" Like nobody knew.
on the flip side, I don't know how much Jack White posted on Twitter, but
I don't
he
know
so
that Jack
fucking
White-
anti-technology.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
I didn't know he had a Twitter.
Yeah.
he basically
That wasn't like just his
forgot
record
his
label
password.
promoting it.
while we were recording that article went up saying that like, oh, Jack White, he basically quit Twitter because he said reinstating Trump was a a dick move.
Hell yeah, Jack.
So yeah,
I want to see if Jack White starts his own Twitter and see what that means.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm just uninformed. Like, I heard about the whole Trump being reinstated thing, but has he posted anything since?
I don't think so.
No,
I think they just
he's just retweeted stuff.
I don't even
Oh
know.
no,
if
he
he's
hasn't
done
done that because I know Elon's been posting memes of like waiting for Trump to post
Right.
something.
Yeah, and I saw someone
yeah.
post a meme of him posting on Twitter being like, wait, am I allowed to do this again?
Yeah. I don't think he's posted yet.
He's gonna
He's
start
waiting
posting
for
all the-
Elon
Ye
to pay
has.
him.
Ye's been posting since he got unbanned. But
He's going to post all the documents he stole.
great,
I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I think it's Trent Reznor. I didn't know that he had been on Twitter that long and it was like an important.
Yeah,
thing.
I wish I could find what year he joined, but his account's gone, so you can't find that anymore.
Yeah.
But it was very early in like at least like mainstream Twitter acceptance. Like if everybody was like, yeah, I know what Twitter is. It was more at the time of like this is this weird like nerd tech thing, and Trent Reznor's here for some reason.
Well, doesn't he like
he makes the beep
tech
boops.
stuff? Doesn't
No,
he
I know,
like-
but it was just
okay.
like he was
Just
like
hey guys.
he was just one of the first like Hollywood types or whatever.
You want to
like,
see my synth?
That was a
honestly that might be why he
Dave
joined.
had
close, right?
solid Trent Reznor.
Do you guys want to see my synth?
I have no idea who he is, but that was kind of funny.
He's the
He is Nine Inch
he
Nails.
is Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
know the band, Nine
I've
Inch Nails.
heard about, or I have heard of Nine Inch Nails. Yes.
Industrial rock.
Dave, this is mostly a question just for you. Did you watch Elton John's last U.S. show?
I did not.
Okay, it's
I heard
streaming.
it was on Disney Plus.
Disney
is
Plus,
it still
right?
there?
It was, and it was a very expensive deal. And
Really?
So I hope it shows up and is
But is it-
streamable again.
But isn't that also when Bob Iger came out? Was for that?
Oh yeah, it was. There's a good like side story to this in that they didn't invite the then current Disney CEO to attend. They took his ticket away apparently.
Good.
And gave it to Bob Iger, who was going to be announced as the CEO the next day.
Oh no!
And the bad part is that the old CEO, also named Bob, he was a big fan of Elton John, and he's the one who signed this deal and made it happen.
That's fucked.
So they double.
I don't feel
fucked
bad
him on
for
that.
these billionaires. I assume billionaires, but like, fuck.
It is pretty funny to watch them fight, but it is bad that billionaires exist. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I just like I cannot follow like, and this is every like legacy act. Elton John has been saying like, "Oh, this is the farewell tour." I feel like for like 5 fucking years at this.
This
I feel like
farewell,
longer than
this
that,
farewell
yeah.
tour started in 2016.
Yeah. So like,
okay.
Not as long as the Eagles, but
and keep in mind,
That's just the name of the tour.
yeah.
The
This-
farewell tour.
this isn't his last show. This is his last U.S. show. And I'm just like, what? So okay,
Unless
what
he adds
what,
more.
what does that make this so special? Like, why is this special? I know that Dodgers Stadium where he had it was where he had that famous, I guess bedazzled
Dodgers Stadium.
Yeah.
Dodgers
baseball uniform.
Dude, we're clearly sports people.
Yeah, I love sports ball.
He had the Dodgers sports
Bedazzled the whole
pajamas.
team.
He's wearing those baseball pajamas.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
So is it that?
Yeah.
Was the stadium important to him, or is it just like he's never going to go back to LA or something? I don't know where he lives. Does
I don't
he live in LA.
The stadium's important because it was like one of his.
History or something with him?
Yeah, it's like his Wembley Stadium for Queen.
Yeah, that's okay. I can kind of see that then.
I know that it's associated with Elton John, like Wembley was.
And Disney saw dollar signs, so they said, well, we'll pay to stream it.
Yeah.
So-
I actually looked this up. He has mansions in LA, France, Portugal, obviously England, multiple mansions in England,
Yeah,
I feel so bad for this guy.
yeah.
all over the place.
Well, so at the end of the day, it's just like I don't fucking know. And also, like, I can't imagine that like his singing sounds anywhere to what it was, and I don't think he's done a transpose to make
Oh,
it
he's
adjust.
definitely done that.
Okay,
I'm
has
sure,
he?
yeah, I'm sure he sounds great. I'm
Okay.
sure he sounds really. I mean, I
Not like he used to, though.
no, but I'm sure he sounds great.
But I'm sure it
Did you hear
sounds
the
really
song
good.
with Dua Lipa, Mister.
I did. Yeah.
Did you?
I think it was tracks.
Come on,
I think it was tracks.
Elton John.
And they performed it together during the encore. Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I think some of those were tracks.
Yeah.
I think he was lip singing.
And I'm not opposed to that. I know, Dave, you're very boomer about that, but
Track? No, I'm fine with that.
Okay. I thought we had a
You just want
discussion
people to
about
know that it is?
I want people to write their own music.
that. Well, Elton John doesn't do that.
I know.
So, how do you feel about that?
Conflicted. greatly.
I'm glad that you feel conflicted. That means that there's some like wiggle room there.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
We'll peel back that onion later.
I have most of them anyways.
I did look at this set list and I was like, I thought I knew more Elton John than I did, and then I looked at this. I'm like, of like I think it's like 30 songs. I was like, I think I maybe know 8, so it's not great for me, but whatever.
You probably know more of them if you heard them.
Right, and he's got like 31 albums. It's something like that. So that's insane.
What's the second biggest? Like Rocket Man's the biggest one.
Benny and the Jets. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
You said Rocket Man, right?
Yeah.
Your
Tiny
song.
Dancer.
Tiny Dancer.
Your song is his first hit.
Yeah.
Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
No, I didn't associate that song with Elton John.
What else is there? There's more. Oh, The
Honky
Bitch is
Cat.
Back.
The Bitch is
Saturday
Back.
Night's All Right for Fighting.
Mhm.
That's a great one.
Could you guys say 2 different songs at the same time? 3, 2, 1.
Honky Cat.
Perfect.
I imagine if I went, ah!
I would have been pissed. That's not what I asked you to do.
Embarrassing.
I didn't ask you to do that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's about all I have. Yeah, no other news. Laptop close.
Is that?
Oh shit! There's great video game drama.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to get into the Mick Gordon.
We definitely
shit.
do.
Okay.
Well,
we
before
definitely do. Let's go.
maybe let's back up. Darius, you
Yeah.
play music, right?
I do.
Sorry,
play
you're about to take a shot. Let me just vamp for a little bit.
just vamp. Dude.
Here's a couple songs that I know. Honky Tonk. Let's research them. Kites and Boomerangs. Mid Lake.
Moniker.
Yep, Moniker. That is me. Young the Giant. Darius, you play music, right?
Yeah, I make beats.
You make beats?
Yeah.
Do you perform live at all or anything?
No, I have never. I literally just sit in my room or like in the airplane today, for example.
It's valuable.
I open FL Studio.
Back in the poor seats.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the best beats come from.
That's
It's
why
from
he
the
uses,
horse.
point.
that's why he
That's a
uses
good point.
FL Studio back at the poor seat.
Literally,
He
like,
is-
I have not. I don't have any of this. I have AirPods Pro, and then I just make the beats.
Hey.
And then I post them, and that's it.
That sounds like an Apple commercial.
Yeah. That means like music is being accessible.
It's
Yeah.
about as like I can make a beat in like 30 minutes and be done with it, and like I don't like to an untrained ear it might sound like a full like song,
Yeah.
but like I know it obviously isn't. Like I know I personally don't compare it to like a full-fledged like song that has been worked on for a year or years that has so many different layers to it, but yeah, you can still, to an untrained ear, make something in 30 minutes that sounds kind of similar.
I know this
And I
isn't a
think I'm
plug.
good at that.
It's not a plug for you, but where can people find your beats?
Just on YouTube. Just if you literally just Google YouTube, or not Google you, Jesus Christ. if
You want
just,
another one of those?
Yeah.
I think I'm good. If you just look like Prod Darius, like produced by Darius, but just Prod
And that's
Darius.
Darius.
Yes.
We'll link it
then
in the show
you'll-
notes.
You'll find it.
Yeah.
It's just like a type beat channel.
Dude, you're about to get like 8 hits.
Finally.
So like,
I mean, maybe 9, but we don't want to promise anything.
Yeah.
so the beats that you're making, is it kind of something that like the idea is for maybe like a hip hop producer to jump on, or are we talking about EDM?
No.
Do you
it's-
have a goal?
I definitely started off as more hip hop because the only reason I started making beats because my best friend, he's a rapper, and I was like, all right, I want to do something with music, but like when I rap, I'm like, I'm a lyrical, spiritual, miracle individual. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna do that.
That's your go-to thing, man.
Yeah, I know. So
And you say it like that in English, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. So I did it. So I decided to learn how to make beats. And I tried making hip hop at first, like just full on like trap beats, like the mainstream type thing, just to learn it, because that's like 90% of the tutorials are about that, or like hard like dubstep EDM type, and that's not like my music. And now it's like, I would say underground music, not just hip hop. Like
Would
I
you
make,
say
like,
lo-fi? quote unquote?
So when I name my beats, I usually say like 1 or 2 artists, and then
That's smart.
So
like
let's
that.
say like hypothetically like it'll be like a Drake X I don't know like
Yeah, that's a common thing in the beat making world. To do that. Yeah.
But like Drake X, I don't know, like Pink Panther's X DNB, so like drum and bass type beat.
Yep.
Or like obviously Drake doesn't make DNB, so it doesn't make any sense. But like the main genres I make at the moment are DNB and lo-fi house in general, and Jersey Club. I don't know if you guys just Jersey Club.
Not familiar, but I will be
I
one
can
of the
make
8,
assumptions.
so I'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely more towards the hip hop niche.
So whenever I started music by, I guess technically singing, but like actually writing music, guitar. Do you play anything like that?
No.
So that's my huge curiosity here. Like when you sit down in front of your controller, your laptop, whatever it might be, what's your process? How do you get started? Do you just kind of start throwing it on a grid and then like, oh, I'm inspired by what that kind of did on that sequencer? What?
I'm changing it up now in the past couple of weeks and months, but before, like, let's say the past years when I've really made a beat almost every day, uploaded every day, or let's say like past couple, like 6 months, I go on Splice. It's like you guys know Splice. It's like
No.
It's like a program. It's like an app, I guess, where people upload their samples royalty free, but you pay like a couple bucks a month. It's like $10 a month, and you just have this huge library of samples. And what I would do is I would just go through these samples until you find a sample that you like, and then you flip the sample. If you want, you can literally just use the sample. You get the key and you get the BPM. So if you get like a certain sample, key is A minor, and then the BPM is 130, you can literally just download it. You buy it, I guess, for like $1 or something would be like the transferable amount. And you put it in, and then you do the drums. If you want, you can also just on Splice get a drum loop.
Does it give you stems, or is it just a single audio file?
Usually it's a WAV file, but you can also get one shot. So like a one shot is literally just like I don't know, like for example, a piano key sound.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And they're both like they both cost the same amount, so you could do both. But what I like to do is if I get like I would rather get the whole sample and then just take like a certain note out of the sample and then like play around with that, because
that's cool.
Also just play around with that. But what you do is what I used to do is just get a sample, download it, flip it, and then do the drums to it. And after a while, I made like maybe 50 beats with different, configurations of samples and configurations of drums and whatever. And then I would try to get the best out of those and take the best combinations I made and try to combine those. I don't know, like if that makes sense. So like I would get new samples, but use drums I already used, but then redo those drums I already used and like flip my own samples, and I don't know, like I
so
flipped
cool.
the flipping and
There's a weird thing you're describing that is songwriting.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's like I you saying that like what you do isn't the same as like a fully fledged song, but these descriptions are like when a band gets together and writes songs, a lot of the times it's like gluing pieces together, or like going like, I had this idea, but what if it went like this way instead of this idea? And that's all it is.
Well, and then it's also like what you're talking about of like using the same beat or using the same sample, flipping it, chopping and screwing it, whatever you end up doing. I mean, like for me, I can't speak for a drummer, but I would assume bass is very similar. There's muscle memory in my hand. I pick up a guitar and I find myself doing the same thing. Sounds different today though. So it's like, okay, like I'm writing a song right now that I just realized, oh, it's the same chords I play in this one Moniker song, but I've moved them around a little bit and it sounds completely different. And like for some people you would hear that and you're like, oh, well, you got to stop. That's already used. But for me, I'm like, no, I've reworked it a bit, and who knows, maybe it'll be better than that song. So,
right. Yeah, because does it mean anything to you when you think about like A minor? Do you understand what that is? Like how much?
Well, I've learned, so literally all my music knowledge is YouTube.
That's
just
great.
YouTube tutorial. Literally,
There is
everything.
nothing wrong with that.
But so all I know is minor is sad and major is happy.
That's all you need to know.
And Dave paid way more to know that exact same thing.
Uh-huh.
That's it. But I mean,
But it's you don't need to know theory to write music.
No.
Yeah,
No, it's
I'm
the-
right there with you. I
it's-
know no theory. It's like,
The explanation for theory is it's tools in your toolbox. It's
Yeah.
not you don't necessarily need the tools. Like you might just be good with the one tool, but if you have more, then it can help you if you understand how. Like if the tool helps you, that's all it is. And it's like it's a really cool thing, but also like for a lot of people I know, it's a detriment. Like it holds them back in a lot of ways.
Well, and
Absolutely.
like interestingly, like if you were to put both of us on the same setup you use to make music, I have 2 degrees in music. You would be done faster than I would.
well,
because-
you would take the whole day.
It would take me so long to figure out how to do it and to like, yeah, you would just be done so much faster.
But if you gave me what
If we both were holding a
Yeah.
guitar,
well, see,
right?
Like if you had to work with what I work with and I had to work with what you work with, like you would probably be done maximum in a week.
Yeah.
Maximum. I would be done with what. Like with your
yeah,
instruments.
let's say
in, like,
play
2.5
Uptown
years.
Funk.
let's say learn 10 songs for a cover band gig. on
Faithfully
bass.
by Germany. Fuck.
I made it, boys. I'm right here.
Faithfully
I'm in this
by
goddamn
Germany.
head.
Fuck.
Let me just see these.
I'll take them all,
right,
honestly.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm the one who brought him to the party. Yeah, that's cool though. I've always been interested. Like I'm a big fan of like Daft Punk, and if you go back as a kid, I listened to that and I was just like, man, it's so cool how they like got these sounds and wrote all this. And then now as an adult and have kind of have YouTube at my disposal, I'm like, oh, that's a sample from this song and this song. Like this song that I love from Daft Punk is like 8 different samples and then a drum beat they added to it. I'm like, and there's so much feeling to it, and I've just whenever I'm listening to music, because there will be times that like somebody will take that sample and they like take all the effects off of it. They've because it's oftentimes just like this small section of like a pop song or some shit like that.
Or like that TikTok sound that's going around when it's just a bunch of old Disney voices chopped in a different way for the melody.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah. Don't listen to that artist, by the way. He's a real shithead.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people on TikTok don't know that. That guy was like canceled before cancel was a term. Like that guy sucks hard. Great songs though. Yeah. But I've never understood like because I love the idea of sampling, but I'm just like I listen to records. I listen to stuff that I just don't. I don't see how you guys hear that kind of stuff, and you're just like, oh, cool. I'm gonna sample that. I'm gonna add this, and blah blah blah. And I guess
But,
it's
like
just a lot
different
of what
kind of
sticks.
like ear to
Yeah,
hear those
right.
things and be like, I could take that sample out of there.
It depends. Like there's 2 versions of it. Like I barely ever sample any songs. Like I sampled Fragile by Sting, for example. You know, like the beautiful guitar, like like that, for example. I just took that little part, like the beginning part was like or the beginning of the hook, I guess, and made like a house song out of it, right?
Right.
And that was like one of my best selling beats ever, which is nice.
You're selling them.
Yeah, I'm selling them.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But the thing is, I'm like, as far as I understand it, I watched like a bunch of videos about it. When you sell beats, you can use the samples even if they're copyrighted, but then the artist has to make sure that they're being cleared when they upload it to Spotify, right? But that whole thing is so scary to me that I only probably have like I have like a couple hundred beats, and out of the couple hundred beats that are online, like 3 or 4 have like copyrighted samples, and the rest are just Splice, and Splice is always royalty free.
That's interesting. There are definitely like I forget who it is, but there's like a rapper, one of those like original, like an Old Dirty Bastard or someone from like Wu-Tang, who like he makes his own beats, and like there are like apparently records, like full records he has finished where he's like, I would love to release this, and I've shown it to my friends and they've told me it's the best thing you've ever done, but I can't release it because I don't remember who I sampled. He's like, I go to Jamaica all the time and we'll just like grab like penny records from bins, and I'll have 100 records coming home, and then like he's like, I don't know who to I don't know who to give credit. If I put this up and they hear it and it's somebody, like, I'm fucked. And like credibility is gone.
Wasn't there a story that we talked about at one point with the Apple using Shazam for that purpose of like trying to define what artists are being sampled for some kind of royalty thing? Or am I making that entirely up?
Doesn't sound familiar, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, it sounds like it could be real.
Maybe that's the thing I read, but we didn't talk about on the show.
Sounds like it.
I think
Something like that could be done, and at some point that could be a point of like, oh, we can finally release these things that like nobody knows what the hell.
I have
who
such
to credit, which
I
would
have
be cool.
such a weird thing where I think that just like music royalties and copyright are like a load of bullshit in the first place. Because it's like how do you copyright any sort of piece of music? It's just like copyrighting a song is one thing. If you literally just repost a whole song, that's
yeah,
sure.
it's the
It's
same
easy,
problem
Hagen.
with
I can
like
show you how to copyright a song. I've done it
I know,
a handful of times.
I've done it too, but like I mean I'm talking about like just,
it feels wrong.
it feels
like,
horribly wrong. It feels
It's like,
horribly like the
patents.
idea of
Some patents feel that way too, where it's like you
Yeah.
patented like a fucking rectangle with a touchscreen. Cool.
yeah, like it's it's the idea of like again a song is one thing, a whole song you can't just like you can't just repost the same song and say hey I made this. That's a
Unless you're on
different story.
Napster in the early.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But like when I'm talking about like, you know, like all the music lawsuits we've ever talked about on the show and any other music lawsuit that will likely ever happen, it comes from a place of bullshit. It comes from a place of that's the thing of like I totally get being scared about that stuff because it's like people just come after whatever because they're like, oh, I think I can sue you for this, so I will. It sucks. It really sucks.
There's a really famous example. I can't find the article. I think it was a Pitchfork or a Rolling Stone article. There's this one song.
Like I was about to say one as well, like "Lucid Dreams" by Juice WRLD with a Sting sample as well.
Oh,
which
yeah?
is one of the biggest songs of like 2019, 2018. Like the song has over 1 billion on Spotify now, maybe over 2 billion. Like
Yeah.
it's gigantic. And the producer Nick Mira, he's like he made YouTube tutorials literally. He's like the person I learned most of producing from. He just heard the beat like at school while he was like 17 years old. Like he heard the song that he sampled while he was watching a movie at school, and then he like replayed the guitar himself so he could like he wasn't bound to the samples, so because the melody was very simple, so but he could play like different guitars to the same melody. And he made the song with Juice WRLD, who wasn't very well known at the time, and the song didn't go anywhere for a year, and then it became a song that got over 1 billion plays, and he got sued for like I don't know how much, but definitely 7 figures.
That's crazy.
And like 80% of the song goes to Sting now.
Yeah. I'm not shocked by that.
It's insane, and literally just because like a 17-year-old kid heard a song, was like, all right, I'm gonna play the same guitar and I'm gonna send it to my friend.
Yeah.
And then whoops, we made 1 billion plays. I mean, now like obviously he's not complaining because he's still like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Still feels very limiting and stifling to people who aren't going to make $1 million, but will still get screwed over nonetheless. Exactly. There was also like Old Town Road, the Lil Nas X song.
Yeah.
The beat on that song was not like Lil Nas X worked with a producer and they did this together. He got it on like one of the sites that you're referring to where someone like you made a beat, put it up for like any rapper, any producer could just buy it for $1 or however much, and then it was on Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, and it's just like massive. And that guy is now like getting a lot of business, but like
all you
he
can hope
didn't
for
get
is that
more.
you get credited somewhere and
but he
people
did.
can find you.
That was young Keo. He was like a Swedish guy. Like
Yeah.
I know him. He went like I know he didn't get as much money as he should have for the Old Town Road, but he got more placements with Lil Nas X, so he got like compensation. But he got lucky because Lil Nas X was like nice about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get some asshole who samples
Yeah.
you and then they're like, I paid you your $1, you didn't get anything else.
Yeah.
that's the deal. $1. Yeah. So thank you for elaborating on your musical craft.
Of course.
We'll talk about Mick Gordon next week. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We don't
Can
have to
read the-
bore Dave with video games.
Can read the super long article next week.
Yeah, I mean,
All the receipts, baby.
it's fucking, if you like drama, read up on it. Just look up Mick
No,
Gordon.
don't look it up yet. We'll talk about it next week.
No, I'm trying to prep people if you're that kind of
Spoilers.
person. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit on the
Yeah.
way home from Dallas the other day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested in that.
It's very
So Dave
fascinating.
will be here next week.
Yeah.
I won't be Dave.
Yeah.
Sorry, Darius.
Yeah. Anything else before we talk about what we're listening to?
No, let's hop into it.
Oh shit! You told me about this. Okay.
I did tell you about this.
You can go last if you want.
So
You need to think about it.
mine's pretty simple. Theo Katzman dropped a live album not too long ago, but it was on YouTube and just a vinyl release. And he this week finally dropped like the recorded version, so I have been listening to that a fuck ton.
Did you watch the live concert?
I've watched it so many times.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
it's so good. So I mean, like watching it's a great experience, but like the last Theo Katzman live album, we talked about it a lot. It's a live album that I love, and I think it's hard to like live albums sometimes. And this is a live album again that I fully love. There's a lot of extending songs in really good ways. Every time a Lee Pardini piano solo comes up, I just blast it. I'm like, please more piano solo. But yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Same. So
I'm gonna go check that out actually because I did like his previous albums that you had mentioned. I guess multiple times probably. There've been
a
multiple
lot,
albums.
a lot.
No, but like multiple different albums I think at this
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah.
and I tend to not like live albums, so I'm always interested in one that actually is good. If that sounds
it's
right.
really long. It's kind of the only for me that's a good thing, but
That's
is
fine. I
really
listen
long.
to Nine Inch Nails. It's fine. Which, speaking of, that's what I'm listening to because it's the end of the year. So Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross have a new album or a new movie that they scored called Bones and All.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's not just call it
Okay.
an album.
I was gonna sorry to
Yeah,
cut you
yeah.
off. I was gonna you're gonna say something that's very different from us, right? We talked about this, right? And I mentioned we kind of have our things that are
Oh yeah, yeah. You
expected.
should have some context for here. Yeah.
We have things that we say that are like, oh yeah, Adam is almost always listening to like a score.
What's
Like,
At
Dave's?
least like once a month, if not.
It's Dave's Jaws.
Zimmer.
Not that kind of. Well, I mean, yes, sometimes. But
That's
often.
no, not
no.
like that. Yeah, kind of like that.
that's baby shit.
Okay. Ooh.
We're like
You heard it here, folks.
I'm a big fan
Baby
of
shit.
Trent Reznor, who we talked about earlier, quitting Twitter. But like his scoring work, I think, is like just as good or maybe even better than his like Nine Inch Nails work. If you like Nine Inch Nails, you should go check out his scoring work.
See The Social Network? See that movie?
I have not, but I know it's with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
That was their first,
was their first
movie
one.
that they did the score for. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that
Really
kind of
good.
that had a lot of like, oh, this feels like Nine Inch Nails did a movie score and it's cool. But like they've gotten progressively more like varied and diverse. Like this album doesn't sound like anything like their first score. It's very similar to I think Mank was the one that we talked about before, where it's like they made a crazy thing that doesn't sound like them at all, which I didn't quite enjoy anymore listening to it again. But this is like it's different and it's cool. It's more along the lines of I guess you would say a more traditional score in some ways. So
What's Dave's thing? Is it Dawes?
yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the bit for a long time, but I feel like
It was such a long time that was a saved like note for every episode that we did.
I feel like I'll tend to like give us like genres or things that we'll lean into. There's definitely artists for sure, but like Dave will be probably our person who gives us maybe something that's like country,
Yep,
Americana,
singer-songwriter.
or like an artist. Like I wouldn't be shocked if you had listened to the new Ozzy record, that kind of thing. You know,
Right.
like I wouldn't be shocked if like you're the one who will listen to you listen to the new Chili Peppers. I think all the
Somebody asked me, "Hey, did you listen to the new Ozzy record?" And I was like, "That's so disrespectful, you fucking asshole." I was so like, I don't know why it made me. I was like,
that's why yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? You think I would listen to that?
I was curious to listen to it because Andrew Watt produced it.
Maybe it was you. Was it you?
Yeah, because I heard a single and I was like, man, his voice still sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to the record.
Yeah,
Big
but
fan of Andrew Watt.
Yeah, he's blowing up
Crazy
big
producer.
time.
Crazy.
but I would not be surprised if you listened to that album.
Yeah.
So we have I think we have like our archetypes where we land for what we're listening to.
What's mine?
Lingua ignota.
Yeah. weird stuff that you have to preference and say that we won't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys won't like this, but I love it.
That I'm
Pitchfork likes it.
I'm genuinely fearful to be like, that's my album of the year, but I'm gonna pick this pop one because I don't want to hear their opinions
Right.
on it. That's me. Yeah, that does sound
Not
like
this
me.
year, though.
No, I was gonna say your opinion is like
Dumb.
no. I think you're the most probably like tuned in to what is like blowing up.
What is
before.
becoming cool?
Yeah, and like it's like
You
like,
guys could say I'm the youngest one on the podcast.
Wait,
not
okay.
currently.
Real quick, what is your guys' opinion? Okay, first of all, no. Second of all, what is your guys' opinion? Like, just one word on Death Grips.
Oh, they slap. They're so good.
One word.
One word.
They're so good.
I figured that
Slaps.
after
Those are
everything
two
I've heard, that's why you're like Anthony Fantano with hair. it's just
And with the Invisalign, I'm working on the best teeth in the game too.
12 points for Darius.
Oh, that was perfect.
That was a 15-inch joke right there.
We're done here, right? We can't do better now.
Jackson, what are you listening to?
What I've truly been listening to is my album of the year to make sure it's my album of the year. So I can't say what I'm listening to.
Got you.
But other than that, MGMT did release a live record recently called, I think it was last week they released it, called 11-11-11, and that is the date that they performed it. It's a pretty interesting record. What they did is the Guggenheim in New York City. It's a modern art museum had this specific exhibit, and they commissioned MGMT to write and record 45 minutes of music that would play during that. And then they said also one night, if you guys want, you can come perform it. So they did that. And what's super interesting about it is because I've talked about this before. If you know MGMT at all, they had this period where they were really torn between, do we want to subvert expectations, challenge our listeners, or do we want to entertain? And this is smack dab in the middle of that. So it's very fascinating to listen to, like, oh, there's some really catchy shit there. And they're like, oh, now we're going to do this for about 8 minutes. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I find it super fascinating. I wouldn't say that it's like something I'm going to be like jamming, but I like every MGMT record. So it's interesting to hear that kind of inflection point in a, like, what a lot of people don't like of them, because, you know, they're like, just play the hits. And they're just like, well, maybe we don't have hits. And yeah, so 11-11-11.
Nice.
Also, Skyrim came out that day.
It did.
It did.
And there was a person who named their child Dovahkiin, and they got free Bethesda games for life.
Wow.
How many Bethesda games have there been since Skyrim came out? Do you know?
Wait, are we talking about publishing or are we talking about developed?
Oh, I don't know. Let's say all the above, just to be safe.
A lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
If it's
yeah.
because then
Yeah.
you could throw Doom in there.
Yeah, that's true,
A Doom,
that's true, that's true.
Eternal, a lot. Wolfenstein. But if we're just talking about developed, it's like maybe
Fallout.
maybe
Yeah, it's
Fallout.
Fallout, that's it, yeah.
Well, 2 Fallouts.
Yeah, 2 Fallouts.
Fallout
No,
4, Fallout 76.
New Vegas, that's 3.
They didn't do that.
They didn't do New Vegas?
That was Obsidian.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's good.
Well, 3 was good.
Okay.
What are you listening to?
I'm listening to Skaiwater's current project a lot. That's like not just Jersey Club, but that's like underground hip hop. He's like, as far as I know, he's from London, just like a rapper, musician. He doesn't rap that much; he sings more. But yeah, his latest project is called Rave, and my favorite song off the project is Auto, like automatic, just auto.
Very cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Thanks for flying out for the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope you have better seats on the way back.
Yeah, me too. I actually got a dip. So, so thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for being on the
It
show.
was great.
Fuck yeah. Anybody got anything else?
No.
Take us out of here.
Thank you for listening.
Oh God. Sounded fine in mine.
Sorry. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please follow or subscribe on whatever podcast app you are using. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, whatever the fuck there is on YouTube. If you have any thoughts for what we should do on any episodes, if you want to say hi, if you have any sound stuff you want me to put on the soundboard, send us an email. Send us an Instagram DM. I was called out this last week on Instagram.
Right.
I ran into the person who called me out.
I was
and-
shocked. They were in Denton.
Yeah.
I thought they lived somewhere else.
Yeah, I think they were in town for that event.
Cool.
But so they ran into me. The first thing they said was they screamed at me and they corrected my pronunciation. I'm still not going to try to fix it now because let me see if I can pull it
I
up.
said, "Oi, dickhead."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So please email us. You can email us at anything you want to at don'tbetheartist.com. Seriously, you can say hi Darius at don'tbetheartist.com.
If you're celebrating Thanksgiving around the time that we're releasing this episode, you have our permission to use the cancel bucks concept on your racist uncle, or maybe your racist aunt or aunt, depending on where you are in the United States. But yeah, feel free to use that. Email us how that goes. Oh, man.
Is it not going to play?
Hagen doesn't know
This
technology.
is horribly fucked up. I pressed play.
Well, don't worry.
Are you on silent?
No, I turned it up, man. What? This is fucked up. I was going to play the clip. Never mind. It doesn't matter. I can put it in later.
You're not going to play in later.
Hey,
Come
what
on.
do you know? What do you know, man?
Not much.
That's right. Anyway, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Follow us on socials, DFTA Pod on Instagram. Don't Be the Artist on TikTok. Is
We
it gonna
never
work?
made it to Twitter.
Yeah. I guess Twitter's dead, right?
Hey, this is for Hagen. That's fellow UNT alum Toby Nwigwe.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
If true. Sad if true.
Truly embarrassing for me. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all I have. So,
Let's go, girls.
Can you guys explain what happened to me?
I'm having a fever dream.
That's album.
We've never said that on air, but that's me.
That's yeah.
Yeah, we have. Oh, somebody at our show. Don't stop.
I'm not stopping.
Somebody at our show. The last moniker show of the year. I just turned to Hagen. I was like, Hagen, what do we say to all of our moniker fans? What do we say to them every time? It's a joke. We don't say shit to them. We say, buy your fucking music, dude.
Yeah.
Listen to the music. Clap. That's what we say.
Please clap.
But
Please clap.
God, for the love of God.
But I turned to Hagen and I said, what do we say to all of our fans? And then out of nowhere, we hear deep in the cavernous basement, we hear, fuck off. And I immediately was like, oh my God, is there a podcast listener? No, I think that guy just genuinely was like, you tell your fans to fuck off.
We tell our fans to fuck off. Get your